Hello, everyone, and welcome to your YouTube channel CA Sansar. Today we have with us renowned speaker Advocate Divyanshu Agarwal ji. He has been practicing for more than 14 years in advisory and has been regularly appearing before Supreme Court, High Court, ITAT, NCLT, etc. Today he shall be discussing on various writs filed under the Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Scheme 2019. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Neha. Thank you, Vivekji, for giving me this opportunity to come on CA Sansar and to address our CA friends about what is happening in the judiciary on Sabka Vishwas scheme. Thank you so much. So, namaskar, friends. आज का टॉपिक है सबका विश्वास legacy dispute resolution scheme and what are the various writs which has been filed in this. So before friends we move to writs, let us first understand in very short what was Sabka Vishwas scheme. The central government has introduced a scheme called Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme, White Chapter V of Finance Number 2 Act 2019. The objective is to resolve all disputes relating to the erstwhile service tax, Central Excise Act, and the cess payable. The scheme will be for taxpayers who wish to close their pending disputes with a substantial relief provided by the government. Friends, this is the only scheme which I remember post-independence wherein the government has given so much benefit to the taxpayers. The scheme has been notified on 21st August 2019 and the date which was appointed by the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom was 1st September 2019 as the date on which the Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme shall come into force and shall be operational until 31st December 2019. Friends, initially the thought process was that the scheme will be there only till 31st of December, but considering the response received by the government has extended this scheme for another 15 days till 15th of January 2020 for filing your declaration under SVDRS 1. Now, the whole idea, what is the purpose of the scheme? So the first circular which was issued by the government was on 27th August 2019, that is circular number 1071/4/2019, wherein the CBIC has clarified in its opening para that this scheme is a bold endeavor to unload the baggage relating to the legacy taxes with central excise and service tax that have been subsumed under GST and allow businesses to make a new beginning and focus on GST. So the whole idea of this circular was to give the instruction to the officers as well as the staff to partner with the trade bodies like FICCI, CII, and to promote and to ask all the professionals like chartered accountants, company secretary, cost accountants, advocates, as well as the industry to make this scheme a great success, to apprise their clients as well as the people about the benefit of the scheme. Now, question, now the dispute resolution and amnesty are the two components of the scheme. First, the dispute resolution component is aimed at liquidating the legacy cases locked up in litigation at various forums, whereas the amnesty component gives an opportunity to those who have failed to correctly discharge their tax liability to pay the tax dues. As may be seen, this scheme offers substantial relief to the taxpayers and others who may potentially avail it. Not only this thing, now the question generally comes, friends, what about the small taxpayers? Usually the government always thinks about bigger taxpayers or large taxpayers. What about the small taxpayers? So in this scheme, the also focuses on small taxpayers, as would be evident from the fact that the extent of relief provided is higher in respect of cases involving lesser duty. That means smaller taxpayers can generally be expected to face disputes involving relatively lower duty amounts. Now, before we go and see what are the various litigations which is coming, let us first quickly see what are the eligibility of the scheme. under which category. If I am eligible, then only I can apply under the scheme. Otherwise, I'm not supposed to apply under the scheme. So our first eligibility is in the case of those companies or a person in which the show cause notice for demand of duty or tax or one or more pending appeals arising out of such notice, where the final hearing has not taken place as on 30th June 2019. So very important point is, if your appeal is pending as on 30th June 2019, last is like, take an example, you have filed your appeal on filed your appeal on 30th June 2019, but the final hearing has not taken place. In that situation, you are eligible to apply under the scheme. But those cases wherein before 30th June 2019, as on 30th June, your final hearing has already been done, but the matter has been reserved by either by the commissioner appeal or by the tribunal or by High Court or by Supreme Court, wherever. Now, those cases who has been issued show cause notice for penalty and late fee only, and where the final hearing has not taken place as on 30th June 2019. Same thing, even in case your show cause notice is only for penalty and late fee. Third category is who has recoverable arrears pending. That means your amount is due, order has been pronounced, you have not filed an appeal against the same, and that is pending. So you come into the category of recoverable arrears. Next is who has cases under investigation and audit, where the duty or tax involved has been quantified and communicated to him or admitted by him in a statement on or before 30th June 2019. Friend, this is one of the very important eligibility. I have covered one of the cases of the Honorable Delhi High Court. Fortunately, I being also part of that case. Wherein this particular parameter was tested by the court, and the court has, Honorable Delhi High Court has issued a notice. We'll come later in the later slides about what happened there in the court. Next is who wants to make a voluntary disclosure. So even if you are not covered into the scheme, but you believe that you wanted to make a voluntary disclosure, you can also come and file your declaration under the scheme. Okay, now these are the specific exclusions from the schemes. That means if you fall into these categories or these things, you are not supposed to file your declaration. Or in case if you file your declaration, the designated committee, which is a committee formed by the government, they can reject your declaration. Number one, who have filed an appeal before the appellate forum, and such appeal has been heard finally on or before the 30th day of June 2019. First exclusion. Second, who have been convicted for any offense punishable under any provisions of the indirect tax enactment, or for the matter for which he intends to file a declaration. Third, who have been issued a show cause notice under indirect tax enactment, and the final hearing has taken place on or before the 30th day of June 2019. Fourth, who have been issued a show cause notice under indirect tax enactment for an erroneous refund or refund. Next, who have been subjected to an inquiry or investigation or audit, and the amount of duty involved in the said inquiry or investigation or audit has not been quantified on or before the 30th day of June 2019. So these are the exclusion. There are certain gray areas in this exclusion. Based on these exclusions also, many of the writs has been filed before various high courts in the various states in India. And for a person making a voluntary disclosure. So I'm not going into the detail, friends. Now, let us, before moving to the litigations which is going on, let us see what are the benefits of the scheme. So as consultant or as chartered accountants or as lawyer, when we advise our client, why not you go and take the benefit of the scheme? So the next question which the client usually asks is, what are the benefits of the scheme? Why this scheme is better for me? So these are certain benefits of the scheme. The scheme offered resolution benefits to declarant, such as, firstly, declarant shall not be liable to pay any for duty, interest, or penalty with respect to the matter and time period covered in the declaration. Second, the declarant shall not be liable to be prosecuted under the indirect tax enactment with respect to the matter and time period covered in the declaration. And lastly, no matter covered by such a declaration shall be reopened in any other proceedings under the indirect tax enactment. So there is no scope of any reopening for that particular period for which you have filed your declaration. These are certain very important benefits of the scheme. So these are the procedures of the scheme. I am not going into the procedures of the scheme, but though these are covered in the presentation. So I am now coming directly. These are, friends, these are certain circulars and FAQs which was issued by the government. And the whole idea of the circular is to explain many of the frequently asked questions. Many of the queries are coming from the department and the trade bodies during that time. And based on that queries, they are giving a reply on those queries, whether your case is covered into this declaration or not. So these queries and the reply is coming into these circulars. And finally, the government has also issued an FAQ on SFIL-DRS 2019. Certain questions and answers, whether you fall into this or not. This was the message which was sent by Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs to everybody, especially to the parties who have filed the declarations, that there are total 1,89,214 applications which was filed till 15th of January 2020. And the duty which was involved in this amount of application was 89,823 crores. And this message was circulated prior to 30th June 2020. Friends, what happened due to this pandemic of COVID, in the last week of March, though the last date of depositing the money as per SFIL-DRS 3 was in the last week of March, but due to this pandemic, the government has extended the timeline, and final time limit which was fixed was 30th June 2020 to make the payment. We were expecting that the government is going to give an extension for the same, but they have not given an extension. So I personally know many of the parties in Mumbai, Gujarat, Delhi, those who have received an SFIL-DRS 3, they would like to make the payment, but somehow due to the liquidity problem and the business problem during this pandemic, they were not able to make the payment by 30th June 2020. That was the last date. But that were the genuine people facing a problem. So many of the people were thinking of filing a writ before the Honorable High Court about the same. So I'll come a very important development which came to my knowledge 3 days back in this. But before that, let us see some matters which was going in various high courts in the India. Now, very important question comes, Mr. Agarwal, why you are telling me that we are supposed to file a writ only? So first question, usually the High Court asks, Mr. Counsel, whether there's any alternative remedy or not in the scheme. So this is the slide only for that. This is the only remedy which was given in this Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme. The designated committee will have the power to modify its order and issue a revised form SFIL-DRS 3 provided the modification has been done within 30 days of issuing the original form SFIL-DRS 3. So SFIL-DRS 3 is wherein your designated committee either they confirm your declaration, whatever you are filing your declaration in SFIL-DRS 1, or they'll enhance your declaration and they'll come out with SFIL-DRS 3. So based on this amount, you are supposed to make the payment. And after making the payment, the designated committee would issue you a discharge certificate, which is called SFIL-DRS 4. Very important, they only have the power to correct an arithmetical or clerical error which is apparent on the face of the record. So if there is no clerical or arithmetical error, but there is some major problem in estimating the declaration, so we have no other remedy except to file a writ. Now, let us see some of the writs. I have covered Punjab and Haryana. I have picked one of the case of Punjab and Haryana High Court. I have picked one of the case of Allahabad High Court. I have picked two of the cases of Honorable Delhi High Court, considering these being a jurisdictional High Court. One was the case before Honorable Gujarat High Court, and one was the case before Honorable Bombay High Court. But let us see what happened before Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court. This was a matter wherein the notice was issued by the Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court. They admitted the writ and given a direction to the department to file a counter affidavit. But the matter has not been disposed yet. It is still pending. The name of the matter is The name is AL Movers Private Limited versus Union of India and others. Now let us see what are the issues which was there. The petitioner opted for Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 2019 to settle the ongoing litigation which is pending in an appeal before the CSTAT in relation to service tax. This appeal was filed against the Common Order in Original dated June 30, 2015, wherein 3 show cause notice for different periods but on identical issue were adjudicated together by the department. So what happened? It was a common issue, different periods involved, 3 different show cause was issued, but the adjudicating officer has issued a common adjudicating order covering all the 3 show cause notice because there was a different period because that was related to an identical issue. So on January 15, 2020, which was the last date of filing your declaration under SFIL DRS 1, petitioner filed declaration in form SFIL DRS 1. Thereafter, on February 10, 2020, a notice was issued wherein revenue raised an objection and personal hearing was fixed for February 24, 2020. Friends, as per the rule, the designated committee has 30 days time to pass SFIL DRS 2. And that is they are estimating your declaration. So if they confirm your declaration, they passed SFIL DRS 2 within 30 days. And if they have some issues or something, in case if they confirm, they'll pass it in 60 days. But if they don't confirm, or if they are having a difference of opinion with your declaration, they'll pass it in 30 days. So, but that is an estimated amount. And in that SFIL DRS 2, they'll also give you a date of personal hearing, wherein if they don't agree with their estimation, so you can personally appear, put up your grievances, file a submission before the designated committee. And accordingly, after considering your submission, then only they'll pass an order, and which is SFIL DRS 3. They confirm the declaration. So in this case, what happened? On February 10, 2020, a notice was issued wherein revenue raised an objection and personal hearing was fixed for February 24, 2020. Interestingly, petitioner filed detailed reply to the notice on February 26, 2020. So 2 days later of the personal hearing, they have filed a detailed reply at 12:32 p.m. Now the very interesting catch was, which was there in that matter was, the petitioner declaration was rejected via email in less than 30 minutes. At 1 p.m. they have rejected the petitioner's declaration on the ground of incorrect filing. And the reason given by the remarks, there was a remark box at the bottom of the form. So remarks given by the designated committee was, revenue took a view that petitioner should have filed 3 separate declarations as each SCN is a different case under SFIL DRS. So the pleading was, this is just a technical point, that instead of filing 1 declaration, you were supposed to file 3 declarations because there were 3 show cause which was pending. So the grounds which was taken by the petitioner was, number 1, all 3 SCN were adjudicated via a single OIU, and there is only 1 appeal filed for which the final hearing had not taken place as on June 30, 2020. So one of the argument was that against 3 SCN, the only 1 single adjudication order was passed, and against that single adjudication order, the petitioner has only filed single appeal before the first appeal, and which was pending as on June 30, 2019 as per the eligibility of the scheme. So therefore, petitioner is justified in filing single SFIL DRS application as per applicable provisions of the scheme. Another very important pleading which was taken by the petitioner was that the rejection order was issued within 30 minutes. This was a catch before the court. So court was also giving a thought, why in 30 minutes? How can you take a decision that is it correct or not? Do you think that in 30 minutes is a sufficient time for anybody to apply the brain, apply the mind and think whether it is correct or not? So rejection order was issued within 30 minutes from the filing of submission without recording proper reasons for rejection and without considering the submissions filed by the petitioner. Therefore, the order seems premeditated and in violation of principle of natural justice. So not only this thing, they have highlighted one of the issue which was there in the circular also, the petitioner, during the argument before Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court. The CBIC has issued various clarifications and adopted a very liberal approach on compliance-related matters under SFIL-DRS. There are cases mentioned in these circulars wherein, even though separate declarations were required under SFIL-DRS, still taxpayers were allowed to file single consolidated declaration provided there should not be any prejudice to the exchequer. So the common declaration has not caused any prejudice to the revenue. This was the one of the ground taken before the Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court. And some other ground was taken. So I'm coming to the bullet number 2 directly. So filing a single declaration pertaining to multiple SCN can at best be considered as a technical lapse, and rejection on such ground will be against the very purpose of the scheme. So what is the broad purpose of the scheme is to ask taxpayers, if they are interested, they come and settle and compromise and settle their disputes. And just because of technical glitches, how can a department or a designated committee can reject the declaration? Another very important argument which was taken was the substantive benefit cannot be denied on account of mere procedural lapse. So anyhow, what we believe, the department usually argues on their front only that these were the technical glitches, but this was the petitioner's ground and the argument before Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court. As I have already discussed, a question which was raised always by Honorable High Court was, does you have any alternative remedy? So one of the ground was SFIL-DRS does not provide for any appeal mechanism against the final determination by the designated authority. Hence, this is the reason of filing this present writ petition. Now, let us see what are the relief which was sought by the petitioner before Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court. Number 1, they have requested for writ of certiorari, and for quashing an order dated February 26, 2020, passed by the designated committee, and writ of mandamus, asking for reinstate and process the declaration which they have filed in SFIL-DRS 1 by the petitioner. Now, direction was, the Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court admits writ challenging rejection of SFIL-DRS declaration pertaining to multiple SCN. High Court adjourned the matter for August 17, 2020. So this matter was pending, and this was done by via video hearing because the order itself mentioned that this was argued on a video hearing before the Honorable Court. So this was one of the issue wherein the Honorable High Court issued notice and admits the writ and asked the department to file the counter affidavit. Now this is one of the topic. Another issue which was there was filed before Honorable Allahabad High Court in the month of June. This AL Movers Punjab and Haryana High Court was also in the month of June only, but I think they have represented the matter in the first week of July. Before Honorable Allahabad High Court, the case was of Panchal Buildtech, one of the renowned name in Gautam Budh Nagar district of NCR, of Delhi NCR. The case was there before Honorable Allahabad High Court. Fortunately, I got a chance to represent this matter before Honorable Allahabad High Court physically. So Honorable Allahabad High Court is only taking the matters physically, and video hearing is only they are permitting for the counsels above 65 years of age. So they are only taking it physically. So now the facts which was there before the court was, the petitioner opted for Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 2019 to settle the ongoing litigation, wherein the petitioner and revenue appeal was dismissed by CSTAT Allahabad bench in relation to central excise duty. This appeal was filed against the order dated 13 March 2018 passed by the Commissioner Appeal. Interestingly, after passing of an order by the Commissioner Appeal on 13 March 2018, there were requests put up by the petitioner before the adjudicating officer for passing an appeal effect order. But in spite of that, there was no appeal effect order was passed by the adjudicating officer, who in this case is respondent number 1, which is Additional Commissioner Central Excise. Since no appeal effect order was passed by respondent number 1, in spite of letter dated 3rd October 2019 filed in the office till December 2019. Achha, not only this thing, friends, what happened after this thing, the appeal was filed before Honorable CSTAT Allahabad bench against the order pronounced by Commissioner Appeal. So department has filed an appeal on the relief given by the commissioner appeal, and the petitioner has filed an appeal on the grounds on the prayer rejected by the commissioner appeal. And after that, in August 2019, the Honorable CSTAT pronounced an order. So as on 30th June 2019, the appeal was pending, no final hearing was done. But before filing the declaration, they have pronounced an order ex parte by the CSTAT, pronounced an order ex parte, relying on some other cases wherein they have mentioned that there was an identical issue. So after pronouncing, and they have reinstated the matter back to what they have confirmed the demand, what they have passed by commissioner appeal. So they have rejected the petitioner's appeal as well as they have rejected the respondent's appeal. Then again, they have moved a letter before the respondent number 1 for passing an appeal effect order, but they have not passed an order till December 2019. Henceforth, petitioner based on their own computation has filed SFIL DRS 1 on 31st December 2019. Thereafter, the respondent number 2 has issued form number SFIL DRS 2, which is the estimated part, on 31st January 2020. Now, the very important factor is they have changed the category from area to litigation. The petitioner has filed a declaration under area category, and they have changed from area to litigation category. And one very important factor, there was 3 projects of this petitioner. So there were 3 show cause. Against that, 3 replies were filed before adjudicating officer. Against that, consolidated order was passed, and against that consolidated order, 3 appeals were filed before commissioner appeal. So there were 3 things. Interestingly, against that commissioner appeal order, the department has filed a consolidated order, consolidated appeal before CSTAT. And in this also, not only they have changed the category from area to litigation, they have covered the consolidated part. So out of 3 projects, the petitioner has moved the declaration only in under 1 scheme, 1 project. Against the 2 projects, they have already received the relief from the commissioner appeal. That was on normal period and extended period issue and service tax, in excise, central excise. So based on form SFIL DRS 2, notice for personal hearing has also been issued if the declarant does not agree with the estimated amount payable as determined by the respondent number 2. Respondent number 2 here is a designated committee and allowed to appear on 5th February 2020 at 12:45 p.m. before respondent number 2. So petitioner did not agree with the estimated amount payable as per form number SFIL DRS 2, which is totally wrong, and it appeared on 5th February 2020. And they have categorically mentioned, which was there in the order sheet also, that they are not liable to pay tax dues only for normal period, and they are liable to pay tax dues only for normal period after applying appropriate relief under area category. This was the argument by a petitioner before designated committee. So the petitioner had appeared on 5th February and has given its disagreement with respondent number 2 and form number SFIL DRS 2. And even the respondent number 2 has agreed on the same. Interestingly, respondent 2 agreed on the same, and they have asked them to pursue the matter before respondent number 1 to get the appeal effect order. Who can quantify the amount? In spite of that, they have automatically. Now, after that, this order was pronounced. So after this hearing, the petitioner received a letter from the adjudicating officer that they have put in the case into the call book. Reason was given that some other case was filed before Honorable Allahabad High Court. I don't know. How can some other case they can relate it with us? So the petitioner has filed a reply before the adjudicating officer that, sir, this is not the case. My case is not covered with that. Please pass an appeal effect order of the same so that I can pursue the matter before designated committee. This was a last understanding. But in spite of that, they have not passed an order. So on 25th February 2020, SFIL DRS 2A, which is whether you agree or disagree, automatically shows agree with SFIL DRS 2. Though the petitioner has never agreed, it automatically shows agree. And on 28th February 2020, SFIL DRS 3 was issued by the department, which is illegal and clearly violation of principle of natural justice. Now, based on that, an email was written on 3rd of March 2020 by the petitioner to the designated email ID, which was there, given there. And against that, on 4th March 2020, an email was received from the help desk that after issuing SFIL DRS 2, taxpayers needs to response of SFIL DRS 2. If taxpayer not responds on SFIL DRS 2A, then it is deemed approved. So they are accepting that they have automatically approved, and in case you have a concern, you can connect with the designated committee, which is respondent number 2 in this case. So it was accepted by on an email that probably by that time they have automatically given an acceptance, which is clearly a violation of principle of natural justice. So some of the grounds which was taken by the petitioner was, the petitioner was eligible for making a declaration under SFIL-DRS 2019 as the appeal of the petitioner was pending as on 30th June 2019. First condition, first ground which was taken, that I am eligible for the scheme. Second, petitioner also fulfills the condition that it had amount in arrears as provided in the section 121 clause C of chapter V of Finance number 2 Act 2019, which is apparent from the order of the Commissioner Appeal dated 13 March 2018. Third ground which was taken was the respondent number 1, which is an adjudicating officer, has displayed utmost judicial indiscipline to order of Commissioner Appeal dated 13 March 2018 as well as CSTAT order dated 21st August 2019 by not computing the tax dues to the petitioner for the normal period of limitation, thereby restricting the petitioner from opting the SFIL-DRS 2019. This was the third ground which was taken by the petitioner. Fourth was the respondent number 1 failed to compute tax due for normal period of limitation, and the time period for filing SFIL-DRS 1 under scheme was going to expire on 31st December 2019. The petitioner left with no option but to compute the tax due for normal period as per record. This was the fourth ground. So same thing, these were the grounds which were taken. Now, very important ground which was taken was the second bullet, which says respondent number 2 has erred in not considering that petitioner's other projects on which separate show cause notice was issued, and without considering that the petitioner has not opted for SFIL-DRS 2019 for such projects as such inclusion of computing the tax dues by including the tax liability of other projects of the petitioner is patently illegal and liable to be quashed. How can you consider other projects wherein the declarant has not filed a declaration for that? That's the important another ground taken. Now, let us see what are the relief which was sought. Issue writ order or direction in the nature of certiorari for quashing form number 3 SFIL-DRS, form number 2 and form number 2A issued by respondent number 2. And issue writ order or direction in the nature of mandamus directing respondent number 2 declaring form SFIL-DRS 1 filed by petitioner in consonance to SFIL-DRS 2019. So one for quashing of form 3, 2A and one for giving a direction to accept form number 1. These were the relief which was sought before the Honorable Allahabad High Court. So Honorable Allahabad High Court gives a direction to all respondents, in this case to all respondents, 3 respondents were there, to file counter affidavit within a period of 4 weeks in a writ challenging the computation of amount in arrears of tax liability in form 2 and 3 in a mechanical manner without considering the reply as well as record of the proceeding. These were the directions given by the Honorable Allahabad High Court. This is still pending. So this matter was also pending, and the department has yet to file the counter affidavit against the state. Now, if we see, after seeing these two rates, what we observe that many of the cases were because of technical glitches wherein the department is rejecting the declaration or they are overestimating the amount. We have filed 100 rupees, they are considering 400 rupees. And the petitioner has no other remedy except to file a writ. Now coming to a jurisdictional high court. I have picked 2 of the very important decisions. In one of the decisions, I was a part of that. So 2 decisions was Honorable Delhi High Court. First decision which I am taking, in which I am also part of that, was 7th Plane Networks Private Limited versus Union of India. In this case also, that the Honorable Delhi High Court has issued a notice. So facts were, present writ petition has been filed challenging the rejection order dated 17th January 2020, whereby the declaration filed by the petitioner under Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme has been rejected on the ground that the audit was conducted and convened on 2nd July 2019. If you remember, friends, if I go into the back slide, we have discussed in one of the slides what are the conditions for moving into this scheme. We see clause D. Who has cases under investigation and audit? Audit must be SERA audit, Central Excise Revenue audit, or audit must be internal service tax audit or GST audit, where the duty or tax involved has been quantified and communicated to him or admitted by him in a statement on or before 30th June 2019. So one of the condition is the communication must be on 30th June, before 30th June 2019, on or before. Now, very important case, interesting factor in this thing is 29th June was Saturday and 30th June was Sunday. So as per the rule of law and the time limitation acts, if there is Saturday and Sunday which is coming, so the next working day we'll consider it as a last day. So in this day case, the last date is 1st of July 2020. Sorry, 1st July 2019 was the last date for that. Now, let us come back to the matter. Now, they have rejected on the ground that the audit was conducted and convened on 2nd July 2019. So, based on these facts, you feel that if it is communicated on 2nd July 2019, so automatically I'm out. So, last date was 1st July 2019. So, if it is communicated on 2nd July, so automatically I'm not a part of the scheme. So, where is the question of filing a writ? Very interesting. The certain facts, let us see. The respondent number 4 issued audit memo in writing on 2nd July 2019. Yet, very important, friends, the petitioner had accepted the demand on disputed points on 28th June. So that was the last working on Friday. The petitioner, they have communicated verbally to the petitioner that this was the amount which is coming, and the petitioner has given the confirmation on the same, verbal. And this was the part which was coming into the 2nd July 2019 quantification or written document also, that they have given a confirmation. That means that the amount was already quantified by 1st July 2019. Further, he states that if the benefit of the scheme is not allowed to the petitioner only because audit memo was issued on 2nd July 2019 as against 1st July, especially when 30th June 2019 was a Sunday, it would cause grave prejudice and discrimination to the petitioner. He submits that the case of the petitioner is fully covered by the circular. That was the first circular, friends, dated 27th August 2019. And based on that, the Honorable Delhi High Court has issued notice and asked for the department to file a counter affidavit in the case. A very thin point. If they would have not considered this thing, so a very thin point. Based on the facts, it is very difficult to understand. But when you go into detail in the cases, then you can understand whether how can you make out the case. Next very important case was before Honorable Delhi High Court was Industrial Personnel and Security Services Private Limited versus Commissioner of Central Goods and Service Tax. In this case, the present writ petition has been filed challenging the communication dated 26 November 2019 and 19th December 2019, whereby the petitioner application under the scheme has been rejected on the ground that the concerned investigative authority has submitted that the amount has neither been quantified nor communicated to the SSC. So it has not been, same question which we have seen in the eligibility, that it has not been quantified or communicated to the SSC by the time of 30th June 2019. The petitioner's contention was impugned communications have been issued without any prior notice and without giving an opportunity of hearing to the petitioner. So they have taken the ground that the opportunity has not been provided. So it is a fall into the violation of principle of natural justice. So there is a violation of principle of natural justice. So based on section 127 of the scheme, which clearly contemplates that an opportunity hearing be given to the declarant by the designated committee before taking any decision. He further submits that the petitioner is eligible to apply under the scheme by virtue of the circular, which was the first circular dated 27th August 2019. Now, after the argument and the contention, the direction which was given by the Honorable Delhi High Court was, since in the present case, the petitioner has raised a plea that it was eligible to file an application, despite the amount having been neither quantified nor communicated to the SSE by the department till 30th June 2019. This court is of the view that an opportunity of hearing should have been given to the petitioner before passing any adverse order. Consequently, the impugned communication dated 26 November 2019 and 19 December 2019 are set aside, and respondent number 1 is directed to decide the petitioner's application after giving an opportunity of hearing to the petitioner. And the Honorable High Court has given a direction that a reason order after giving an opportunity of hearing shall be passed by the respondent number 1 on or before 25th March 2020. The rights and contention of both the parties are left open. Based on this, after giving this direction, they have disposed of this writ which was filed. So friends, I have covered 4 decisions, and very interestingly, what is happening in what we feel that the idea and the objective of the scheme is very good, but what happened pan India, just because of some technical glitches, the designated committee or they are rejecting the declaration, and obviously the petitioner has no other option left in that except to file a writ. So majorly on the technical points and the technical glitches, they are rejecting the declaration. I have not given a detailed discussion, or 2 more cases were there considering the paucity of time. So we have another 2 matters, same on the similar issue. They were also filed before Gujarat High Court. The name of the case is High-Tech Projects Private Limited versus Union of India. And next was before Honorable Bombay High Court. This was the name of the case is Eureka Fabricators Private Limited versus Union of India. And similar issues on the circulars, whether on the SVL DRS1, declaration, principle of natural justice, these were the grounds which were taken before all the different writs. So these are the issues which is coming before various states of the Honorable High Court. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for the patient hearing. Over to you, Neha.
Thank you so much, Divyanshu ji, for sparing time and explaining the nitty-gritties involved in the Sabka Vishwas Legacy Dispute Resolution Scheme 2019 in such a lucid manner. I'm sure all our viewers would be immensely benefited from this deliberation.